Hey everybody, my name is Evan, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 movies of 2025. So, I know this video is a little bit later than I would have wanted it to be. I tried to watch as many different movies as I possibly could towards the end of the year, and I think I ended up watching 40 or so 2025 releases. So, if you've been to my channel before, welcome back. And if you've never been here before, well, my tastes do tend to be in the horror type vein. But I do watch all sorts of different movies, but like horror and sci-fi and action, those are kind of where my interests lie the most. So without further ado, let's get to the list. So I say without further ado, but before I get to the list, let's talk about some honorable mentions. So there was a solid number of movies that just didn't quite make the list for various reasons. And you know what? I'm just going to go over those rapid fire really quick. So the first one is No Other Choice. This is a Korean movie about someone who loses their job and kind of will go to do anything they possibly can to thin the worker pool. This is a very well-made movie. I rated it a little bit lower because it's not, it was not the most pleasant thing to watch. As in, like, it felt very real and everything was kind of terrible. But it's a very well-made movie and I do recommend it. The next one is, well, this is one that's probably at the top of a lot of people's list this year, and that was One Battle After Another. I think the acting in this is fantastic. I didn't love the first act, so that kind of dinged it down a little bit for me, but by the time I got to the end, I really did like it, so it's a solid watch, and I would recommend that as well. So the next one that didn't quite make my list was a movie called Dust Bunny. This had a very small release theatrically, and I think it's available to watch on demand at this point. But it is about a little girl who hires an assassin to kill the monster under her bed. I wanted to like this more than I did. I felt it was a little dark, as in like the print was dark, so sometimes it was hard to see what was happening. And I think the dialogue felt a little muddled. So it wasn't perfect. I think there was a lot of creativity involved. But if you give it a chance, you might enjoy it more than I did. The next one is this was a horror movie that made it to a lot of people's tops lists, and that is Bring Her Back. This was a unpleasant movie to watch. It was very well done. The story was very good, and it was very well acted. Everything about it was good. It just didn't quite make the list, but if you can handle some disturbing elements, I would recommend Bring Her Back. So then here's another one that I was a little disappointed with, and that was Mickey 17. I don't think it's a bad movie. It was just kind of missing a spark that would have pushed it into the top list. It was decent. I enjoyed watching it, but I don't think I'll return to it anytime soon. Then I got a couple of fun ones here at the end. That first one is Trick or Treat with Reed Richmond. This is, if you're aware of the WNUF series of films, where they are kind of supposed to be like found footage type shows that aired on TV and something goes horribly wrong. Well, this is a spin-off of those involving some of the same characters, but there's no like weird twists that would set it that something strange that happens at the end. This is kind of a straightforward Halloween special. It's a lot of fun. It's really silly, but a very enjoyable watch. And the final one is the documentary, Sorry You Live Here. This is available to watch for free on YouTube. It is about a group of friends who go to the Bonnaroo Music Festival, and it's horrible, but they make the best of it. So I do recommend all of these movies. They just didn't quite make my list. So let's get this started. All right, so number 10 is, well, it's a cheat because there are 3 movies in there. There were 4 major superhero movies released this year, and I do love superhero movies. I'm a superhero movie apologist. I grew up collecting comics. I think we're living in the golden age of comic book movies because when I was a kid, I never would have imagined there was this many good movies. So the 3 that I liked the most this year were Thunderbolts, Superman, and Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
A lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions?
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
The thing about this is they all kind of... They were all enjoyable, but they were all missing a little bit of something. So the first one, Thunderbolts, I really enjoy the comic Thunderbolts, even though this kind of bears no resemblance to that. I like when there's like a team of like maybe lesser known, like scrappier heroes, and this did this really well. Obviously, I've watched everything that leads up to this movie, so I'm very familiar with these characters. But this one kind of had a heart that was a little bit different than anything else that Marvel has put out before. It kind of dealt with some like trauma and feelings that you know what, it was really, really well done. Even though everyone in the movie did a really good job, it was Florence Pugh's Black Widow who definitely carried that movie, and kind of really brings it, it really makes it shine. Then with Superman, you know, I really like James Gunn movies. I've been a follower of his for a very long time, before he was making big budget superhero movies. And this was really good. Again, it felt like it was just missing a little bit of something that would push it higher on my list. But, you know, because going into a Superman movie, we've seen a million Superman movies at this point, right? But I think this was a really nice kind of blend of different eras and, you know, kind of giving it a throwback to kind of the values that you expect from the Superman character, but also, you know, with a tiny little bit of edge. And the Lex Luthor was great because it was a little bit Gene Hackman and a lot of, you know, kind of modernizing that character for like the evil CEO and the sort of things that he would do. But yeah, and then the third one is Fantastic Four: First Steps. I am a huge Fantastic Four fan. I'm glad that they almost got it right. It felt like it needed just a little bit more room to breathe, because like having Silver Surfer and Galactus in there were fantastic to see live. Like it was quite an achievement, and I'm always happy to see those characters and see them done right. It just felt a little less, I don't know, impactful than maybe it should have, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with all of the casting choices that they made for the main team, but they still did a fine enough job. And then, of course, seeing Herbie on the big screen is a dream come true. Been a huge fan of that character for a long time. Ever since my kids were little, that was, you know, kind of like their favorite character. And I even own Herbie's first appearance in comic form. So
everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past. Hey, it's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit.
You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Are we safe?
I don't know. The clock is ticking. We are going to find a solution. We are going to make it right.
You don't want to just crush him?
Not like that. The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
that was my number 10, a cheat, 3 fantastical superhero movies. So my number 9 is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
My maker told his tale. And I will tell you mine.
So I know some people kind of didn't really vibe with this one. I went into it expecting to maybe not like it because I was like, well, I've seen the Frankenstein story. If it's just another retelling of the story I've already seen, I don't know if that's really what I'm here for. You know what? I was pleasantly surprised that it was a very kind of loose adaptation that kind of put it into a different category. So it's definitely Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. So was some of the acting and some of the characters a little like hammy and B-movie-ish? Yes. But you know what? I like hammy and B-movies. And so I really had a great time with this. The sets are just gorgeous. I know they based a lot of them on the Bernie Wrightson art, and it really shows. And I don't know. I know some people didn't really like it, but I had a great time with it. I would have liked to seen it on the big screen in a theater, but unfortunately I had to watch it on Netflix. That might have taken a little bit away from the experience. It's unfortunate that it didn't have a bigger theatrical run, and I unfortunately did miss it when it had its small run.
And I saw it. Your name. Victor Frankenstein.
I don't know. I had a great time with this. Just the fact that they mixed it up a little bit. They changed some of the settings. They did a little bit different things, so you're maybe not expecting, the same sort of thing. But I don't know. It was great. That was my number 9, Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro.
If you are not to award me love, then I will indulge in rage. Now, run.
Well, my number 8 is another remake, but I have never seen the original. This is Beonia.
I believe every company should strive to form a diverse table, to empower people of different skills, and every time, what is it?
Skills and identities.
To foster a new generation of, okay, let's go again.
This director, Yorgos, and I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce his last name because I'm gonna mess that up, has definitely made some dark and disturbing films in his career. I like most of them for the most part, and this is a remake of a kooky, like, Korean movie that I imagine is a lot sillier than what this ends up being, because this is a dark, dark movie, but it's not without its comedy. So this follows 2 people who kidnap a CEO of a big company because they are convinced that she's an alien. Things... you know what? I don't want to spoil anything, but things go in a direction.
All we've lost, all that's been done to us, we're setting that right again. Greetings. Welcome to the headquarters of the human resistance.
Where's my hair?
Your hair has been destroyed to prevent you from contacting your ship.
What ship?
Your mothership?
Okay.
All the actors do great jobs. And it was an interesting mystery, but maybe once you kind of know the resolution, maybe it's not as rewatchable. I don't know, but I thought Beonia was great, and that's why it is ranked my number 8.
You know this is wrong.
I know who you are. I know what you are.
I know you too, Teddy.
It's fine. It's cool.
All right, so that brings us to my number 7. And this is a sci-fi action movie that kind of is a part of a franchise that I was never really that much into. And of course, I'm talking about Predator Badlands.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
I was kind of late to the Prey train because it was released to Hulu, and I don't know, I'd heard good things, but then once I watched it, I'm like, wow, this was really good, and I'm glad this is what they brought the franchise to, because I was a fan of the first 2 Predator movies, and then everything in between, nothing really looked that good. So honestly, I had not watched any of those. And I'm not a huge fan of the Predator lore and the stories. It's fine. I like it. I like the originals, and, you know, it is what it is, right?
You're after a creature that can't be killed. The definitive apex predators. I could help you. Well, good luck with your journey.
So I had heard really good things about this. And this is a movie that follows a predator as the main character, which I believe is the first time they've done that. And I don't know, I think it was great. Like, for a PG-13 movie, this is the most violent PG-13 movie I've ever seen, mostly because there are 0 humans in this movie. It's all aliens and like robots and, you know, that sort of thing. The twist towards the end is kind of predictable, but you know what? It is a very, very fun ride. There's a lot of great action in there. I really had a good time in the theater watching this, much more than I expected. So Predator Badlands, I would highly recommend, especially if you are a sci-fi action fan, or you kind of even have a passing interest in like Predator and Alien type stuff, because you know there's a little bit of both in this one. So yeah, that's great. Predator Badlands, highly enjoyable. All right, so my number 6 is going to be a bit of a hot take here, because I know a lot of people really didn't like this movie, but it has that little special something in it that I really enjoy, and that is a movie called Rabbit Trap. So Rabbit Trap follows a couple, this takes place in the 70s, that kind of go to this remote cabin because they're kind of like avant-garde musicians, so they're trying to like capture sounds and record a new album, possibly different than anything they've ever recorded before.
When you hear a sound, you become a sound.
With your eyes, you enter the world. With your ears, the world enters you.
Through a series of events, they, I don't want to spoil anything, but a child shows up.
I followed the music.
Oh, you could hear that.
Sound travels here.
He thinks you're cool.
Thinks I'm cool.
Do you know a lot about local superstition?
I know about nature.
Are you having nightmares again?
Darcy is tainted. There is a veil between this world and fairy.
I don't want to say too much, but what I want to say is what I really enjoy about this movie is the sound. I really enjoy like sound-based horror movies, or things that incorporate sound into just any movie. Like even just like when characters are listening to things and I have to listen really closely to try to figure out what's going on. And there's a lot of sound-based elements in this movie. And it has a good story arc. Is some trauma, like past trauma involved that needs to be dealt with. But and of course, Dev Patel, the main actor, is insanely watchable. So I probably just watch anything with him these days. But yeah, Rabbit Trap I really liked. And it just, maybe it's just me, but this is the sort of movie that really gets to my interests. So yeah, I would recommend this movie. I would say give it a chance. Go in with an open mind. Go in knowing that maybe not all of your questions will be answered. There's a lot of ambiguity, but I think the pieces of the puzzle are there, and you can kind of make your own conclusions to what exactly happens at the end. So I liked Rabbit Trap. I ranked it at number 6 for 2025. Well, so that brings us to my number 5, and you know what? This is another one that a lot of people didn't really like, and honestly, it took me a little bit to get to this high of a rating, and that is 28 Years Later.
Wait, sit here. Sit. Auntie, what's going on? Jimmy, sit still, keep quiet, and do not move from this spot.
So I'm a huge fan of the 28... franchise. I love the first one. I like the second one. And then there's a long period of nothing. I don't think 28 Weeks Later did that well theatrically. There was no 28 Months Later, unfortunately. But this is a follow-up that happens many years later. And it is a different sort of movie. From what I understand, it is very British. So maybe some Americans have like the sensibilities and the references are maybe just not connecting with as many Americans. But 28 years later, there are survivors on an island in this this decimated country, I guess.
There were so many dead. Infected and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
You know, I feel he's a bit young.
He's ready, Jenny.
7, 6, 11, 5.
Once you walk onto that mainland, there's no rescues.
Moving up and down again. Don't.
Things have changed in the last 28 years. The rage virus has mutated, and they're living in a different sort of society. So, but what I really liked about this movie is that it deals with some ideas of like loss and toxic masculinity, honestly. And I think it handled this all really well. So, I think a lot of people went in with certain expectations, and kind of once I got over those expectations, I really, really loved what this movie did.
Many kinds of death. And some are better than others.
By the end, which I know there's the very end is a little divisive, but I had a huge smile on my face because it was a very big wow moment for me, and I don't know, it hit me just right, and it kind of made me understand the whole movie. So on a rewatch, knowing what was going to happen, I enjoyed it immensely more. So, if you have not seen 28 Years Later, I would go in with a very open mind and and throw all your expectations out the window, because I think this was a fantastic movie. And there was a follow-up release in 2026, and well, maybe we'll talk about that one on a future video.
There's no discharge in the war.
All right, so my number 4 is a movie that I would highly recommend you not watch while eating, and that is The Ugly Stepsister. So, The Ugly Stepsister is a super, super dark and disturbing and honestly repulsive retelling of Cinderella. It follows one of the stepsisters, as the title would suggest, and oh boy. I kind of didn't know what to expect or what direction this was going in, and it goes into some very dark and disgusting places. And you know what? I loved it. This I kind of can't wait to watch again. I only watched this one once this year. But it's, first of all, it's gorgeous. Like the sets and like the costumes and everything about it is beautiful, except the characters. The characters are all ugly. Like, no character, aside from one, which I'm not going to spoil, is they're all pretty unredeemable. They're pretty much all do like horrible things. And even the ones that do horrible things, sometimes you kind of see where they're coming from, or you see their motivations might slightly be justified. But again, don't watch while eating. I think The Ugly Stepsister was a great movie. I highly recommend this as long as you have a strong stomach, because yeah, okay. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
I've lost my mind. I'm going crazy. I've lost my mind.
So my number 3, you know what? It hurts me to put this low, because I would have expected this to be the number 1 movie of the year, based on the director, and that is Weapons.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Weapons is a heck of a ride. See, I am a big fan of Zach Cregger, the director. So saying that, I have never seen his comedy movie that he made, but since he has made the turn from comedy to horror, he's got a really good knack for it. If you've seen Barbarian, you know what I'm talking about. I think maybe I like Barbarian just a slight bit more than Weapons, but I think maybe a rewatch from Weapons might elevate a little bit. Anyway, so Weapons is about, well, there's a mystery where all of the children in this one particular teacher's class, except for one, go missing one night. And, well, that we unravel that mystery.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
It's told kind of through different characters' perspectives. I know the director said that he used Magnolia kind of as a template for that. And I think that kind of fits. This might have one of the most satisfying finales I've seen in a while. Because it's out there and it's a little brilliant. But then, you know, I think everything is explained really well in this. But it's quite a ride, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not 100% sure why it ticked down just a little bit for me. Maybe I was expecting more of a twist or reveal. Not that it isn't good. It's just maybe not as crazy or bonkers as I would have expected, but I think there are plenty of those other moments in this, and I can't wait to see what Zach Cregger does next, because I really enjoyed Weapons.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
My number 2 of 2025. This might come as a shock to a lot of people, but I rated this 5 stars. And that is Nobody 2.
What's up, guys? I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation. No. Come on. Use your words. Now no one gets the pole. It's just supposed to be a tourist.
Oh, Nobody 2 is an action movie about, you know, if you've seen the first one, you know the premise. It's not that different, other than like the secret isn't there anymore about kind of a retired agent who, you know, looks like a mild-mannered family man, and turns out he can handle himself very well.
Take them out. Hey! They're coming after our family. Go fix it.
Someone help us. Just another master's vacation.
Let's do this!
I just want a break.
What I loved about this is it takes that formula, puts them in a fun location, and this is I'm a huge fan of this director. Timo Tjahjanto, which I'm also probably pronouncing wrong, is a Indonesian director who makes some really, really good action films, and they're a lot of fun for the most part. And this kind of tightened up his style because some of his more recent movies definitely needed an editor. And this has that. It's clean. It is brisk. And it is a heck of a lot of fun. The action is fantastic. It is a joy to watch. I'm so glad I got to watch this in the theater. I don't know how well this did. I would have liked to see it do better so they can keep making these, because I have a really good time with them. Fun action, fun acting, everything is. I love everything about it. It's a movie that really speaks to me and my sensibilities, I guess. But that's Nobody 2. Go see it if you haven't. It could use some love.
Making memories.
Hutch, after this vacation, we need a vacation.
And well, that brings me to my number 1. This should not be any surprise. This is one of 2 movies on that list that I actually watched a second time. I couldn't wait to watch this at home after I had seen it in the theater, because this is Sinners.
We've been gone a long time.
We back now.
You twins? Nah, we cousins.
A lot has been said about Sinners this year, and you know what? It was just a pure joy to watch. Yes, it takes a lot of influences from other films, but there's amazing characters and amazing performances. Everything about this movie is good, and if you're a hater, I do not care. This was a brilliant piece of filmmaking.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Will somebody take me in your eyes?
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Here's a fun fact that a lot of people don't talk about is I immediately recognized the father who was the preacher in this movie as Saul Williams, and he is one of my favorite artists as far as poetry and like hip hop and musician, that sort of thing. Love that guy, and I love seeing him in this movie. And nobody ever mentions that he's in here.
Keep dancing with the devil.
Careful, boy. You're gonna bite off more than you can chew.
Love you. One day he's gonna follow you home. We got us a problem, y'all. What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
Sinners is great. If you haven't seen Sinners, I highly recommend Sinners. It is hands down the best movie of the year. And I knew that the minute I saw it. There was never going to be any doubt that this was going to be my number one, because it is an experience, and it is a joyous experience. So I don't know. I'm not going to go on ramble on anymore. I feel like I've rambled on enough. But Sinners, number one. Absolutely.
We gonna kill every last one of you.
Hey, I ain't mean to scare you. Thought y'all done forgot about me in here. Come on, open the door, let me on out of here.
Stay. It's you?
Of course it's me, open the door.
That ain't your brother.
Love you.
So thank you for sticking around this long. if you've made it this far, this was a fun year full of movies. Maybe not as many outstanding like movies that I knew were going to be in my top 10. But you know what? Solid list. And I really enjoy every single movie that I've talked about today, and I highly recommend them. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you are on Letterboxd, I would greatly appreciate it if you followed me. Because, that's where I rate movies and do some reviews and stuff like that. And I use that to log films primarily. I just like watching movies. So, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around this long. And we'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.